Happy Saturday, everybody. Thank you for joining me for another amazing Saturday. I have an amazing guest, Mrs. Tamia Dow. I am so excited to get into to this whole interview right now because she's amazing. Like I met her and this woman is so amazing. She has so many hats. I actually have to read it, like how many hats she has, because I can't remember them all. She is an amazing speaker, an amazing author, a great coach, a loving chaplain, creative producer and director, amazing actress. This woman does so much, ex-police officer, so she knows, how to get you where you need to be at to spill the beans. You know what I'm saying? But she does so many things. She's a best-selling author, award-winning filmmaker who empowers victims and survivors of violent crimes and traumas to reclaim their life through her motivational speakings. And I kind of put that together like that because I'm like, I can't think of any other better way to say that she changes lives. Thank you for coming on, Miss Tamia Dow, and everybody just give them a piece of you. How you doing today?
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. And yes, when you read down that whole list of stuff that the Lord has blessed me to become, to know, to learn over the course of the years, it's just amazing to think about. But I feel so blessed, number one, to be on your show, to be here with you, to have met you, and to be working with you on some projects. I mean, I just know that we are going to bless and change the world with what the Lord has put in our hearts.
Yes, and what she's basically speaking to everybody, we did decide to get together and do some TikTok series on mental illness, and she is going to be the therapist in that whole series and being able to express all of her coaching and her police skills and everything into that movie, into that film to pour into you so you can see what you need and what it takes to break a lot of these chains that we build for ourselves through social engineer habits and different things that we've done that are not of us, but of everything that we've been around. So this is going to be a really great project for us. I'm like super excited about that as well. I came up with my character yesterday. I kind of been diehard set on her. So you're definitely going to see a lot of things that people basically go through on a day-to-day basis, whether they're professional or in the streets or whatever their profession is, whatever they're doing, wherever life takes them. You will be able to see through these mini short films on our TikTok channel once we get it all together of how to overcome and combat that with the therapeutic information that Tamia is going to lay out. And also some of our cast members, they're going to pour into their character to give you some insight on how to break some of these chains that you're going through. So I really want to get in and ask you this question. When do you feel the happiest in your daily routine, and what is your daily routine to stay inspired?
Wow. Yeah. For me, I really enjoy my morning ritual. And my morning ritual is really getting up. The first thing I do when I get up is I say, thank you, Lord. I look up and I say, thank you, Lord, because that means I've been given another day. Yeah, wake up call from heaven, right? Get up,
Yes.
Get up, right? And then I say another expression that I learned many years ago to say, because like you mentioned, I come from law enforcement. I do a lot of traveling all around the world, and I wake up sometimes in places that I'm like going, wait a second, where am I? Is this Barcelona? Wait, is this Uganda? So I just wake up and say, I love my life. Whatever the circumstance is, I love my life. Because the wake up call and being able to live the day out, to me, is better than the alternative. It could be, I could be in a hospital bed. There's so many other places I could be, but the Lord has blessed me to be wherever I am, where I wake up on that morning, I'm taking that breath. And so therefore, the next thing I do after that, wake up, thank the Lord for the day, say I love my life, and then I just have a little conversation with the Lord. Now, what that looks like to me is literally having a little conversation with the Lord, where I look for the inspiration, because I do what they call daily devotionals. And that means whatever the Lord inspires me to go and look at and read in the Bible, I will do that, or sometimes I'll wake up and I'll turn on inspirational programming. Like, for example, let's say I'm not going to name any particular preachers or shows like that, but I'll watch, inspirational Christian shows. I also listen to inspirational Christian speakers. And let me share a few with you that most people wouldn't think to call Christian speakers, but we're talking Bob Proctor, John Maxwell, what is it? Field. All of these people are actually Christians, that are secular, recognized motivational speakers and presenters. They also know the Lord. So I know that the wisdom that they're imparting also has biblical base to it. And I truly believe in growing strong in the word and staying strong in the word, because that's something that's got me through everything that you described of me, from being a law enforcement officer, where literally, every single day when I got it to the end of the shift, I was thanking the Lord for getting me through the shift, because there's so many others who didn't, for whatever reason, their name was called during the course of their shift. And so they lost their life in the line of duty. So I thank the Lord that my name was ever called during the course of my shift. Doesn't mean I didn't have some dark moments where I was calling on my angels and the Lord to protect me, while on my shift. Yet the blessing was that as you can tell, I retired. I always made it to the end of my shift. So actually, since I've mentioned that, I just want to take a moment, just a very, very quick moment, and just have a moment of silence for those who haven't made it to the end of their shift. Thank you for joining me. In May, it's the month that we recognize our fallen officers, those types of duty. May 15th was actually called Peace Officer Memorial Day, a day when all the country literally is supposed to take some time to remember officers who have lost their lives. And unfortunately, during the course of my career, there were several of my colleagues that did lose their lives in the line of duty. So I just honored them with that moment of silence. And with that, I will move on, but I just want to say that's a core part of it. So when last year we had everything that went on, besides the pandemic, you guys know what I'm speaking about. It was difficult for me, because I know, just like in a family, in a working situation, there's always a bad apple. There's always people who have different motives, who are out there doing what they're not supposed to do. And when they get caught, it brings bad light on everyone else, even though those other folks are doing good. And I was blessed to be able to be one of the ones who was doing good. I was surrounded by a lot of people who were doing. Unfortunately, there were people in our midst that weren't doing what was right. My whole thing is, I would ask everyone, just like we want to be treated fairly, do it the other way too. Realize that each person is an individual, and also realize what we will be talking about in the series. Always realize that you don't know what's going on, or what somebody's day consists of, what they might have gone through. Just like with citizens, same thing with the police, or the first responders, or even the care workers, right? You have people who are experiencing death, and sometimes, like law enforcement, their life is put on the line, and then the next thing you know, they're making a contact with somebody, and that person might be at the end of their rope too, frustrated and going, I can't believe I got pulled over, and this and this and this. And so now you have two people who are already in a heightened situation, this officer, this citizen, with their own personal issues where they end up meeting. And then unfortunately, depending on how they end up responding to it, either one could end with someone's life being taken. So that's something I think we should definitely end up talking about on our TikTok, but from both perspectives,
Right, right. No, that is a very big
So
key
yeah, so
point.
that's part of my morning ritual. I said I get up. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's amazing. And I always
Yes.
come on this show and I always
Another thing I ask in my morning.
okay, perfect. It kind of
Are
cut
we
out a
frozen?
little bit. You were a little bit, but bring that back because it was frozen for just a little bit. So bring that back. The one thing you ask for in your morning ritual.
What?
What you bring back in your morning ritual, what you
Oh,
really love about your morning.
actually, oh my goodness, it's driving me nuts. But
It's okay. We're going to act like it's
yeah,
not even there.
so with the ritual, I always ask the Lord what it is or who it is He would. Okay, I always ask the Lord to guide me on who I'm supposed to work with or what I'm supposed to do the morning when I get up, so that I can direct my day well. And even though I have something on my calendar, usually every day, a few days I schedule just do nothing days I end up just writing. So I'm literally not just doing nothing, but I'll write or let the spark go, because as you know, I'm an author and also a screenwriter, and I'm in the Sevens Film Challenge. I'm one of the directors in there. So
Right.
I am actually working on my script for my film called Angel on the Roadside, which is a
Mm.
post-apocalyptic end times kind of movie about a bunch of Christians who have decided not to take the mark, because of course if you read Revelation 13, if you take the mark, you're basically renouncing God. You're renouncing Christ. So the Christians being called after the name of Christ, believers in Christ, to take the mark. And so the story talks about what the government and other marked ones, people who are marked, are doing to try to chase after and literally kill these Christians, because it's kind of open season for hunters, because these people are considered outlaws because they refuse to take the mark. So just kind of think of, I said Mad Max because it's going to be their desert. They're rebels living in the desert meets invasion of the body snatchers.
Okay.
That's along the lines of what the story about. Yes.
Nice. Definitely looking forward to watching that. And the 7 that you wrote, I know that you got some awards on those, and that's going to be something to look forward to. Definitely, I am looking forward to every single one of those. I want to see them and just engage and engulf in them, because being able to meet you and understand, just how you are, and then watching the movies and seeing those parts of you come out on those movies are like, really, I love that part. I love that a lot. I love that a lot. So working with producers has been so much fun for me, and being on set, I love it. It's great. So, I mean, I got the bug. I'm not gonna lie. I got the bug. I've been addicted. It's the same way I've been addicted to coaching and speaking. I'm kind of addicted to movies and acting too, because that just brings out a whole nother characteristic and just quality of creativity from inside of me. I don't know about everybody else. I can't speak for everybody else, but it does bring it out in me. So definitely thank you for that, and definitely look out for her movies, because they're gonna be coming. They're gonna be great. Why is it important for you to accomplish your goals? And this is really important because there are so many people out there with like a ton of goals, and yet they have these roadblocks that they don't know how to get by. So that's really where I focus in and hone in and love, is helping people in that personal development stage of being more mindful and aware of what's going on, so they can actually put those puzzle pieces together and overcome a lot of those obstacles and paradigms like Mr. Bob Proctor talks about. My favorite is Dr. Joe Dispenza. I love Brian Scott on YouTube. There's so many out there just dropping so much information and knowledge. But for you, why is it important for you to accomplish your goals? And what is the one thing that you truly hold on to? And I know it's God, but we're going to go a little bit deeper. What is that one thing that you truly held on to that always gave you that perfect why to be motivated to accomplish all the many things that you've accomplished? Hard questions.
I always talk to my clients about, and my friends, and when I'm speaking, I always, no, not a hard question at all. Actually, because I mean, this is what a lot of people who come to coaching or seek out coaches, this is where they are. You know, they want to figure out what is the driving force, what is my purpose. People want to understand what their purpose in life is. And I always take them back to the parable of the talents. I don't know if you remember that parable in the Bible, parable of the talents, Talents. In the Bible, at the point of which you're reading it, talents is talking about financial, like money. That was a what is it? A part of money, right? You know, like $1 or $15, dollar bill or euro or whatever. It was a payment of money. And so in the story, there are 3 different servants that are mentioned, that their master goes to leave on a long journey, doesn't tell him when he's coming back. And before he leaves, he gives each one of them a certain number of talents according to their abilities. So he gives one, he gives 1 2, and he gives 1 5. Then he leaves. They have no idea when he is going to return. I personally, when I share the parable, I always tell the story of talents in actual talents, meaning what the Lord has installed in you. And we all pick up talents along our lifetime, pick up knowledge, talents, and abilities. And for me, as you read my bio, I've picked up a lot of knowledge. When I learned, I turned around and did it, learned how to do it well. And then after I learned it, did it, then I taught other people how to do it. That's one of my strengths as a talent. I am a natural teacher, which I thank the Lord for. When I was in the military, which was one of the things, I don't know if you even mentioned that. You know, I was in the U.S. Army. I was a commissioned officer, and my strength was training. I trained other officers and my troops. And then when I was on the police department, same thing. I did training, which training is teaching people how to do things that you know how to do so that they can also be skilled in doing it. So back to the parable. With me being a coach and a teacher and really loving that by nature, it just was so natural for my talents to blossom. So in the parable of the talent, it says that the master did tell him when he was coming back. So they had no idea if the master was coming back today or 5 years from now. Now, I want you to think about the parable of the talents along the lines of the Christian's belief someday Jesus is coming back. Or maybe even make it more simple. Guess what? At one point in our lives, we will no longer exist. We will die. And once we die, the Bible tells us we'll have to give an account for our life and what we did in our life and with our life, right? Because our life is a gift from God. What we turn around and do with our life is our gift to him, right? So we all have to look at that and not put that on somebody else. Because that's what a lot of our people who are calling, in life is they're saying, well, my mom wants me to do this. My cousin said I would be this, the teacher said da-da-da. It's not about all those people. It's about what God has downloaded into you, what God has told you that you are good at, and what God is asking you to do that only you can do in this world. The things that you learn, that you shared, just like with me, I could speak into the life of so many people as a chaplain, as a director, as a speaker, yet I may not resonate with everyone. Everyone may look, people might look at me and go, I'm not getting her. Other people might be like, okay, I need to hear you saying. And that's who we need to be here for. That's who we need to be the light for. Because not everybody's going to be like, oh, Director Tamia now, I need to get to know her and this and this and this. Other people might see Director Bob Smith and want to go after Director Bob Smith. They might see Billy Bob, whatever, and they want to go. The point is, best you can be, to inspire people to be them that they can be in showing your light, living your life, showing your light.
Yes.
So in the parable, the master comes back in the parable. They don't tell us how long he went away for, but he does come back to have them give account for the gift, the talent, that he left them, right? So I'll tell you about the last two, and then I'll get back to the first one, because I don't want you to be the first one. And if you get anything from this conversation between myself and the lovely Mrs. Williams, I want you to see that you and what you do is important, because there's people who are watching you and waiting for you to light your light, shine your light, and bring them into your, so that they can be inspired by your light and by what you do. And they may not do the exact same thing you go to do. I'm not expecting those people who are watching this video to turn around and say, I'm going to go off and be a director. You know what? It's not in everybody's plate to be a director. It's not on everybody's plate to, be a chaplain. It's not on, you know what I'm saying? But there's something on plate. There's something specifically for you that I'm praying that once you discuss, that you say, you know what, I am going to put this on my plate and actually serve it properly. Do what I need to do to nourish to this that's been placed on my plate, that I have selected to put on my plate, to make it the best that it could be, to change the world. So that is what my goal in this discussion today. I always, before I have a conversation with someone, I always have like a goal. And my goal is that at the end of our talk today, that whoever's watching will say, you know what, I'm going to go after this. I'm going to do what I need to do to get to where I say I want to be, and stop being a talker, but being a doer. And that's something that I'm really big on, is being a doer. So like anybody who follows me on medias, you will see posting like awards, completion of films, things such as that. So you don't see me going, except for like the Lucky Seven, I'm telling you that upcoming project is this, this, and this. But I can do that because I have enough prior projects to show you that my upcoming is on the way. Do you see what I'm saying? So you have now proof that I do what I say. Okay. Great. So think for you and keep running off at the mouth. I hate to say it like that, but that's literally what they say. They say people watch your feet, not your mouth. Watch what you do, not what you say. So just be mindful of it. So let me talk about those people who got them talents, right? So the person who got the 5 turned it to 10. And when I think about that, I think about people like Beyonce, Queen Latifah, Oprah, Angelina Jolie, all these people they were given what? The hat of an actress, right? Except for Oprah was a toast, right? But they were given an initial hat, right? The Lord gave them a talent. And now look at them. Moguls, entrepreneurs, actress, singers, dancers, the list goes on, right? You sat there and did a long list with me. Those ones just named to you, those are the 5 people. The people who have been given something and then they build on it, then they build on it, then they build on it, and then they build on it. So then when the Lord comes back and asks them to give an account, they have multiplied. They have 10 multiplied what the Lord has given them. And you know what the master says to them? Well done, good and faithful servant, enter into your reward, right? So these people built up their treasures, their knowledge, their talents, their abilities here on earth. Fine, they're all still here, okay? But as I mentioned, though, is we are all going to have to give an account. We're going to have to give an account whether we went with the 5 or the person that had 2. That person turned around and doubled it to 4. So again, that person got well done, right? Well done for doing the most with what I've given you and building it up. But then I told you about that one guy, right? The one guy that got the 1. What do you think the one guy did? And remember I said, don't be the one guy, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So this person said, Master, I know you to be a wicked taskmaster. And so I was that I would waste this talent, that I would lose this talent, that I would do something horrible with this talent. So I took it and I buried it in my backyard because I wanted it to still be here when you came back. And the master was so angry. The master was like, I gave you a talent. I gave you a skill. I gave you an ability. You are supposed to use it, not bury it in the backyard. You are supposed to use it and make more of it. You are a wicked and servant. Depart from me. So he banished the one and blessed the others. Do you hear the lesson that I'm giving you in this parable?
Yes.
What's the one? We want to be the 2, 5, right?
Right. Right. And I love that story. That's like really, really is really deep and profound. I mean, like basically, and I say this all the time, but it just puts it in a different perspective. Like we all have different skills and talents that we have to share with the world. And like I tell my clients, you know, whatever it is that you're doing in your business, make sure you are teaching someone else and others as you're doing it to pay it forward. Don't just look for the monetization, you know, because you're going to get paid. That's going to come. That's just automatic. But the skill and that talent that you have, once you just keep building on it and sharing it with the world, everything else is going. People don't understand that, right? The money is that the monetary gain is totally separate from what your skills and talents are, right? So once you just do what your skills and your talents are and things are flowing so smoothly, that's going to come. That is going to come. Don't worry about that. Don't focus on that. Focus on your talents and your skills and your abilities and blossom on those. Like always make sure you're constantly learning and growing because knowledge is endless, which means that no matter which profession you're in, it's going to be in-depth knowledge to that to make you master that skill. And even once you mastered it, it's going to be more information that's going to be constantly changing in this constantly changing world. But the biggest thing that she said right at the beginning is you have to first recognize your talent. Second, be honoring to your talent to do, not sit and look at it and observe it. You need to do. And third and last, you have to practice it. If you do not practice your talent, you have to understand, yes, you have to practice it. And yes, it's your talent. You got to practice it because you haven't practiced it. You've practiced being a human every single day of your life, mocking everything that you see and still in that child mindset of mimicking the world and regurgitating it back to your outside. It's not about regurgitating the information outside of you after you put it in you. It's about taking it, transforming that information and blossoming your talents and being bigger and better than what you already have inside of you and constantly growing in that space. And it comes with practice. It comes with knowledge, and it definitely comes with execution. You cannot go and bury it in the backyard and think that it's just going to grow into this amazing, successful tree that you can go and eat the fruit off of and live an abundant life forever. It just doesn't work like that. You definitely have to put the time, the energy, the effort, and that passion. And that passion is driven from your heart chakra, from your center right here. That's what your subconscious speaks to, is your heart. Your heart expresses your passion for what you're doing, and that passion turns out and manifests what you're thinking and idealizing into your now, into your world right now. That's basically what she's saying. I'm saying what she said in my words, right? Just because, like she said, you have different people giving you a different understanding from their standpoint and their perception, it actually helps reach multiple people. And that's why I do this podcast, because I want to reach thousands of millions of people. Like, I don't want to just reach a couple people. I want to reach a lot. So I want to make sure we're telling the story on multiple levels, so then multiple people can get the idealization that we're talking about as far as manifesting what you want in your life and being happy and abundant and prosperous. And it starts with, like she said, go in and talk to God. Go in. If you don't believe in God, fine. There is a spiritual essence inside of you that moves everything that you don't see and you don't understand. And it starts with a thought process. And that thought process is connected to your spiritual essence. And that spiritual essence goes and gets whatever it is you need that you ask for and brings it to your reality. And that is like amazing and profound. And I tell people all the time, the Bible is not just a Bible or religious documentation. It's a life manual. And I've always called it a life manual, because everything in the Bible, it talks about confidence. It talks about having faith within yourself. It talks about your talents. It talks about everything that you need, the gifts and talents and skills and tools that God gave you to actually manifest in this world and have the life that you want to live. And all you need to do is stop burying it. Go dig that up. Go explore you and be an observer of your life and see your talents and let them explode. Just bring them to the forefront, because we need it, right? Like movies, that's what we need. We need you to pull that all outside of you and just let it explode and just bring it out, because that creative, innovative energy not only builds your businesses, not only builds your productions, but it builds your life. It builds you as a person, so you can be the person who you were meant to be to serve your purpose. You can't even discover your purpose until you figure out what your talents is and who you are, and being an observer of yourself. That's where it starts, right? Yeah. So the next question I have for you: how do you feel you can best motivate yourself?
Yes.
How do you feel you can best motivate yourself?
What motivates me, I have this inner child. I've always, right. I have, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I think I might be frozen.
You're good.
Yes. I have a huge inner child. I call her little Tamia, and little Tamia was and still is, because she's within me. She's the who I am. Little Tamia loves life. Little Tamia loves to explore. Little Tamia loves to learn new things. So with my so Tamia, what I is allowing to explore the world and to do the things that she desires to do. Now, when we talk about my little Tamia, we all have a little ourselves where your name is inserted. Little, little Desiree, little Lisa, little Bill, right? Little Bill had a dream. Little Bill wanted to do and life came in, did Bill's ability or Lisa's ability to be able to be who that child desired to be. Because when we're children, we have no limits. There's no real limitation. It's the world that puts limits on us. The world actually tells us what we can and cannot. Don't speak out. Be in order. Must raise your, all this kind of stuff, right? So we put rules and limitations on children because we want them to conform to what we call the perfect world and order, right? Yet most children are creatives from when they're young. They like to create things. And I've always been a creator. I was 9 years old writing short stories about a detective, that a young girl detective that was solving crimes. I already knew I was going to be a detective. What I didn't think was that eventually I would be a director and I would be creating stories again, yet creating them on the level of film as opposed on the level of fictional short story. For me, what keeps me motivated is feeding my inner child, accomplishing the dreams that my inner child had within the realm of what the Lord is open. Now, I'm getting a really interesting sound or feedback, so I don't hear it.
No,
Yes.
yeah, we heard you saying you're feeding your inner child, and that's what motivates you, and that's great. That's profound. I love it. But yes,
So that's what I use as motivation to do the design.
there you go. Well, Tamia had dropped off, as you see that she was having some technical difficulties, and that's fine. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. But basically, she was talking about is comforting and really getting that connection with her inner child, which motivates her now, right? So there's a lot of skills and talents from which she was talking about that feeds into your inner child, your childlike state. Because there are things from your talent that you did when you were a child, and a lot of us don't remember that. And a lot of us will need to take some time to fully remember. We have these partial memories, some of us, and some of us don't remember at all. But being able to go back and tap into what you did as a child, what moved you as a child, what interests you as a child will help you to bring light on what your actual talents are now. Because when you're a child, you don't have limitations. You don't have fears. You don't have anybody, telling you that you can just do whatever. People are blocking your boundaries. They're blocking your growth. They're blocking your creativity by telling you what you can and cannot do, that are social engineered rules that we're giving to us that we just keep passing on generation to generation to generation. When in essence, when those children are learning and growing and being observers of this world, it is up to us to help them to realize their talents and their gifts so they can embark on that and manifest that talent and gift at 18, 16, or 20 years old versus waiting till you turn 40, 45, 50, and 60 years old to try to embark on your talents and your gifts. Wondering, why did you wait so long? And it doesn't have anything to do with personally or particularly you. It has everything to do with how you were raised, how we were brought up into this system and into this world, the rules and the expectations that were given to us in our life, and then we're following those expectations and rules. I know you remember there was another Saturday that I did, and I was talking about expectations and how much I have this I have this love-hate relationship with expectations. It is good in a sense, like most things, like just about everything. You have a good side, a bad side, a light side, dark side. Expectations are good when they're your expectations for your life from you. Expectations don't feel as good when they come from your outside life to force you or mandate you to do and react certain ways. So society has taught us how to be in the expectant flow of being, being expected to do certain things or perform a certain way versus allowing us to be who we are and flow naturally into who we are. So, when you're going to so many different things, I'm not putting schools or putting anything down as far as the system itself. It is what it is. However, you can make changes in your life by stepping outside of your comfort zone in the system that you were born and raised into. You don't know who you are and what you like until you've experienced many facets of things. Like, have you been to another state, another country, another world? It says, how can you, pass on your energy and your information and the things that you are as a child into your adulthood, and being able to see what it is that you're ready to do, and be able to walk into your greatness and into your profession, and perhaps, and just really be great, and this is what this whole show is about, is your greatness and being great, right? We want you to walk into your greatness. We want you to see your greatness, and we definitely want you to be that greatness on the outside and teach others to be great as well. Because as you're teaching others to be great and walking in your greatness, you're actually spreading so much love, admiration, and growth around you, which will feed into so many different people. And then by the time you look up, you probably hit thousands of people. So everything around you is absolutely perfect and in harmony with your goals, and in alignment with how you think and what you could produce, and where you feel it good at. And with that being said, you have now created your optimal euphoric life. So definitely get to know yourself better. Definitely get into finding out better of who you are, what you like, and what your talents are. There's tons and tons and tons of different psychological and personal development tests that you could take online just to get started, to figure it out, to where to start at, or taking that numerology exam that goes back from using your birth date, the time you were born, and your name, and the letters having each number representation of it, and actually telling a story about how your life can go, as long as you take the proper steps that you want, that are in alignment to your goals and passions and dreams on your light side. Now, on the flip side, the dark side, of course, it'll tell you that as well, of all the things that will stop your growth, stop your mindset from wanting to move further, and even you getting in your own way. Numerology will tell you how you will get in your own way, and then also tell you how to get out of your own way to manifest the things that you want for your life and in your dreams. So definitely use those tools. There's too many tools out there. And nowadays with modern technology, there's way too much information and access to information. It's not like back in the day when I was a child or in high school, and the only place we go access information was at the library, which sometimes we couldn't even get to because it was so far away. So as a child, and you couldn't even get to the library, and they didn't have information anywhere for you to get the knowledge and growth from, now you got it so close, like so close that it stays in your hand all day long. So there is absolutely positively no reason in the entire world that you should not be able to grow, or not get the information, or not know where to start. Now, I can understand not knowing where to start, but if you just took an idea and just thought about, well, I want this, and go into Google and ask, how do I get that? You will come up with so much information to figure out how to get where you want to be at, how to manifest your dreams, and how to blossom on everything that you have inside of you. So I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you again for another amazing Saturday. Some more information. We have guests lined up every single Saturday moving forward. If you want to be a guest on the show, no problem. Just contact me or DM me on Facebook. You can also email me at Desiree Williams at blanktag.org, the exact same way that it shows right down there on my name. Desiree Williams at blanktag.org, and it will show you, it will give you my email address, so you can go into, you can email me, and we can bring you onto the show. We could go ahead and sponsor your truth. Like, I want to support your truth. I want to go out there and put it out there so everybody will know how to get past those things that you're going through, to get past all of those, heartaches, those pains, and those paradigms, and get out of their own way to become their greatness. You can also find me on Facebook at Desiree Passionate One Williams. You can also get my business page on Facebook at _tag_. You can also reach me on Instagram at _tag_ as well. You can also give me a call at 702-720-4570. Leave a message. A lot of times I do get really busy and I'm doing multiple things, but just leave me a quick message and I will turn around and get right back to you and we can move forward from there. Have an amazing weekend. Stay safe, stay growing, and stay observing yourself. I'll see you next week. Bye.